Okay, today I'm going to show you how easy and simple it is to make your own pizza dough in the Thermomix. This can be made into so many different things. It doesn't need to be pizza. So let me show you how simple and quick and easy it is to do this. So straight away, start cooking. So it tells us to grease a bowl and set aside. We're going to use a Thermomat. Now, if you've noticed my bowl, it needs a citric wash. I actually did some herbal tea in it earlier and it is stained. I'm going to show you a citric wash at another time and I will link it below. So 220 grams of lukewarm water. So it is important your water's not cold, otherwise your yeast just won't have a chance to activate. So that is one of my biggest tips. Now, whoops, I've gone a bit heavy-handed. I'm about 40 grams over, which is 2 tablespoons. I will take a little bit out today. I just don't want to deal with a sticky dough, but really in the scheme of things, it's no major deal. I'm still a little bit over. I'm going to leave it this time. So next up, 1 teaspoon of sugar. No, we don't do extra sugar in this house. We're going to skip that. But if you're trying to wean your family off store-bought bread rolls and this packaged stuff, then start with your sugar and wean them off, or they'll realise they don't taste right. Okay, 20 grams of fresh yeast or 2 teaspoons of dry yeast. I've just got the dry instant yeast that I keep in my freezer, so I'm just going to put that in and I'm sprinkling it around the blades in there to try not to get any on top of the little knob, otherwise it can't get used, right? So that's why. Okay, on with my lid and my measuring cup, and it would ordinarily warm that water up, but I'm not too worried today about that, so I'm just going to click on next. It would normally, oh actually it's not even warming it up. I'm leading you guys astray. It's actually just mixing it. Let's do that, we can do that. Should just follow the recipe, shouldn't I? 20 seconds. Now I'm going to add some secret ingredients into my pizza dough today. I'm going to add some garlic paste because I've pre-made garlic paste, which I'll show you how to make one day as well. And when I do, it'll link in the comments. And I'm going to add some vegetable stock instead of the salt in this recipe. So it just enhances that flavour. Now we're actually using it to make naan bread with tonight. But you can use this to make bread rolls, scrolls, and so much more, which I will gradually show you in the videos to come. Now it's asking for 400 grams of baker's flour. Now this is a specific flour. It is a flour that is a higher protein content than ordinary plain flour, and your bread won't work out the same if you don't have baker's flour, if you use just normal white plain flour. So I'm just watching my scales there. If you can't get baker's flour, if you have a chat to your local bakery, they will often sell it to you. So they will be able to get it by the massive bags, and they will be probably quite happy to sell you some of that, as well as yeast. But you will find it in a 5 kilo bag on the bottom shelf of the supermarket in your bread section. A lot of times you probably haven't noticed it because it's right down low, out of the way. But these big bags will make a fair amount of dough over time. It's 5 kilos bag, and it's going to last what, can't even do the maths today, so I won't. You're going to get 10 loaves of bread, or even more pizzas, because pizza's only using the 400 grams of flour, not 500 like we do in a bread. Okay, so 30 grams of oil. Close. There we go. And now it's asking for the salt, which is where I'm going to put in my beautiful vegetable stock. Such an amazing accompaniment, I guess, to our Thermomix meals. It means you don't have to buy stock cubes anymore or liquid stock. Veggie stock is all you need, and it's a concentrate. Now I'm also adding in a secret ingredient of some garlic, because as I said, this is going to be garlic naan bread. So on with my lid, and now we're so close to being finished. 2 minutes knead time, and the Thermomix is going to knead that for you. Let me take the lid out so you guys can see what's happening in there as it comes together, because it's quite fascinating to watch it be tossed around in there and eventually come together into this beautiful dough that we're going to then turn into whatever you want. So it could make 8 big bread rolls, it might make 12 little bread rolls, you could turn it into naan bread, scrolls, and so much more. So I'd like to know when you make this recipe what you turn it into. Now just a little warning, do not walk away from your Thermomix when it is kneading. It can turn into a bit of an upright washing machine and start moving around and walk itself off the bench. So I would not recommend leaving it, and certainly some people put theirs on boards and things like that. Definitely don't leave it, because the board and the Thermomix can become something that moves it right off your bench, which you do not want for your Thermomix. So you can see now here, you can see the movement it's getting, and that's why I'm saying here. Okay, so I'd love to know though, have you made dough? How did it go? Over time I'll be creating videos for you about how to make your perfect bread rolls, how to make the different types of bread rolls, so all those sorts of things. Let me wiggle this back to the front. You can see with 45 seconds to go how good that's looking already. And you can see in there that's coming together, and we can tell by that movement in there that it's actually coming together beautifully. Let me just make some space. Now this is called a Thermomat, and it's a really handy tool to use with your Thermomix. It's going the other way, it's going away from the bench today. It won't away from the edge of the bench. This is going to be what we wrap our dough in to prove it, or sometimes cover it if it's in something like a bread tin. It's silicone based, and it just makes things really easy. It means there's no big messes to clean up with the Thermomix, which is really important, let's be real. So you'll see now it tells us to transfer the dough into a prepared bowl and work into a ball. So I'm just going to put my mat up here. I might wiggle this back over where it was trying to go anyway. Excuse my arm. Now you can see, let me just show you how amazing that dough looks, guys. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? It's pulled together. It's amazing. Now, a little trick, okay? Hopefully you know this already, but the little cog on the bottom, see this thing here? If you turn that with your fingers, it'll allow the dough to fall out onto your mat. So we just pick up our bowl a bit and turn that little cog. I don't think you guys can see it. Sorry about that. And it's coming out onto the bench. Now there's a little bit left in there. Okay, where's my camera? Over this way. So I can pull it out and put it on the bench. But I'm also going to do one other thing. I'm going to put it back in and I'm going to spin it on speed 10 for a couple of seconds. So I'm going to quit this recipe and spin it up to speed 10. Just a couple of seconds. And you can hear when it was done, it had shot all the dough out to the sides and makes it really easy now to clean up, to the point that most of the time you'll find it's spotless. So obviously I need to do a citric wash. So mine is not completely spotless, it's stained. But now you use it a bit like Blue Tack, where you just run it around the edge and it's picking up all the stray bits ready to be used on your dough mat, losing the words, ready to be used for whatever you're going to make it into. So here we go. Just pull this last little bit out and then I'll show you it. But nearly all done. Now you will find humidity can affect dough a fair bit. So you may follow a recipe perfectly, or look, it's sticking to my fingers. You may follow it completely to a T and it ends up one time really quite nice and it all comes out in one ball, and another day you pull it out and it's all tacky and sticky. It really is humidity based, and like today I had the extra bit of water in there as well, which is certainly going to make it a bit more sticky. So into a ball, and you can see with this Thermomat, can you guys see how nicely that comes up? I don't need any flour. Look at that, the mat is clean. My fingers aren't, but the mat is clean. So I'm going to cover this up. I'm going to let it prove for about 15 minutes in a warm spot, and then I'm going to shape it into bread rolls, cover it, and use it for later. Well, actually naan bread tonight. So I hope this is helpful. I hope it gives you the confidence to give a go of making dough in your Thermomix. Please ask any questions you've got, and I'd love to know if you've done this in your Thermomix before. But otherwise, I will see you soon. Please shout out if I can help you in any way. Bye for now.